Mitchell, it's so interesting that you're the third generation of a family business in the city, and it sounds like the internet has actually helped economy candy more than it's hurt your business. Is that so?
Yeah, we've been around for over 80 years, and really in the last 10, 15 years or so, we started economycandy.com, and really people just were so excited that they could get those old-time candies that they can't get anywhere else and at great prices. Plus Yelp, TripAdvisor, people looking up what do I do in New York, and luckily we have some great reviews. We're nice to the customers. We've been around forever, and people recommend go to Economy Candy, go find your favorite candy, and they come in, they bring their family, and it's that tradition and really driving new customers that has kept us around.
From TripAdvisor is sending you those.
TripAdvisor, we have 4.5 stars on TripAdvisor. On Yelp, you know, a lot of hundreds and hundreds of reviews, people from all over the world saying, in all different languages, saying go to Economy Candy. So we get a lot of tourists from all over the world.
You couldn't buy that publicity.
Yeah, we can't. We don't spend on advertising. We're a small family business. We rely on word of mouth and other people just driving them to Economy Candy.
You make candy there as well?
We don't make anything pure retail. We have over 2,000 varieties, candy, chocolate, dried fruits, nuts. If they still make it, we have it.
Right. I read that you can have 1,000 customers a day.
Yeah, it's great, especially on
it's still a small business in Manhattan.
Small storefront in Manhattan, you know, but we bring people in, we pack the store floor to ceiling. You know, might get a little tight quarters from now and then. Sometimes we have lines all the way around, but people are happy because while they're in line, like, oh, I didn't know they still make this. Oh, I don't know they still make that. And come over here, I got to show you this. So it's great. You know, we bring a lot of people in. There's a lot of, you know, people that have been coming for 3, 4 generations. Like their grandparents brought them, and now they're bringing their kids and their grandkids. And then it's the tourists. So you can really get a lot of different people. It's great.
Where do you find these candies that I thought would not be made anymore? I mean, for instance, I saw on your website, candy cigarettes.
Yeah. So what's crazy is, you know, people come in and like, they don't make these anymore. How do you have them? Right. My dad has a great joke. Says, oh, my father was a terrible buyer. We still have them sitting in the basement. But, you know, it really goes back to having those relationships with these companies for 80 years. You know, a lot of mom and pops have gone around. We're one of the few left. And we have that relationship with Tootsie Roll, with these companies that have been making them for the last 80 years. And they still call on us and they still sell to us, even though we can't, you know, buy what a Walmart can buy. But they'll still sell to us because we have those relationships from way back when.
And I saw on your website what must have been these candies were just laced with sugar, Chuckles.
Yeah.
Oh, my heavens.
Yeah, Chuckles still made. People haven't seen them. And they just brought back Beeman's, Clove, and Blackjack gum. You know, the licorice gum. We just got it in yesterday. We've been selling it online like crazy. It's crazy.
How have you, or have you not had any effect of healthier eating? I mean, you're a candy shop full of sugar.
Well, we do sell dried fruits and nuts, so, you know, there are people who come in just for that. But you know what? Everyone needs a little snack, you know, and then they tell you dark chocolate's great for you. So people come in and they're buying, I need the purest 100% dark chocolate. We have so many different things. Not everything is pure sugar, but sometimes, you know what? You need some gummies. You need something to make you happy. You know, a little handful of gummies, a handful of candy, it's going to make you happy. And you need that too.
We had Dr. Oz on WCBS on Halloween. And we asked him this question, and it's funny. He said, no, give the kids candy, but give them real food. And he recommended giving dark chocolate, real chocolate. So it's Dr. Oz recommended.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Where do you take the business from here? Do you have a plan to change?
Brick and mortar, the store is always going to be our #1 focus, the people. That's where it is. And you know what? It's just about expanding the online presence. You know, economycandy.com, finding more people throughout the country, letting them know that we're around. My wife, Sky, joined the business with me. She runs our Instagram, Facebook posts. You know, it's great. And really just getting out into the market and having people find us and be like, I didn't know these places still existed. Right. You know, people don't necessarily know we're here.
Right. And there's an appeal to supporting a small business somewhere if it's real.
Yeah,
that's obviously you're real as can be.
Exactly. We really appreciate people sending them to us, and you know there are these other upscale shops that come in and come out, but it also helps drive awareness that these candies are still being made. And if you don't want to spend $15 a pound, you can come down to Economy Candy and get it for much less.
You smile when you say that. You love the sales. What do you like about it?
I love interacting with people. I love hearing stories about how they knew my grandfather. They knew me before I was born. You know, it's just telling those stories, and then they tell those stories, and other customers hear these stories, and they really get a sense that this is, one of the rare places left on the Lower East Side and even in Manhattan where, you know, it really is true generations and keeping it in the same family. You know, everyone worked there. My dad worked. His sisters worked with them. They would make Easter baskets. They were expected to go in after work. You know, when I was in elementary school, my Christmas vacations were spent working in the store because it was a busy time of year and they needed the help. And I really grew up in the store. And that's why I always knew that even after working on Wall Street for almost 7 years, that I would be in the family business.
And the business started as a cart, right?
Yeah, so in the 30s, we were a shoe and hat repair shop that just had a little push cart outside that sold penny candy. But in the 30s, people stopped, you know, getting things repaired. It was the Depression. They didn't have the money for that, but a little piece of candy went a long way. So little by little, they decided to become economy candy. And when my grandfather and his brother-in-law came back from World War II, they took over the business. It was a real family business. Everyone worked there. Everyone in the family was expected to do their part. But by the 60s, 70s, it was just left really to my grandfather and my grandmother, as well as my dad, Jerry, and my mom, Eileen, and they took it over in the 80s. And then a couple years ago, I came in.
Have you added any new products? Did your father or grandfather sell the nuts and that type of thing as well?
It's always been dried fruits, nuts, but it's just it's all about expanding that. And we used to sell a lot more dried fruits, nuts, to be honest. We had a whole big fridge. We had to take out the fridge to put in a whole bi-color section because candy buffets, candy tables for weddings, bar mitzvahs, sweet 16s, any party, they need everything in red, everything in yellow, everything in blue. So we have like 50 different items in every color.
I wondered why your website said shop candies and the first line by color.
Yeah. It's the biggest thing now because people have these candy parties, candy tables, and the events want to charge them an arm and a leg for a candy table. They come on in, they say, I can spend a couple $100. They walk out of there with 100 pounds of candy and have a great party.
For the design. What's the section of the website that gets the most hits?
I would say it's either by color or all the nostalgia candy, old-time favorites. You know, people going to see that, what is it, Abba Zaba still made, Zagnut still made? Yeah, it's made. We always have it. We have everyone's favorites. We've been doing candy by decades, some tubs and boxes, you know, people sending their gifts to each other, you know, anyone's from the 50s. All right, I'll just send them a candy by decade box. It's great.
I can't imagine that you got this enthusiastic about things working on Wall Street.
little bit different lifestyle. I loved working on Wall Street. I love the people that I worked with at Morgan Stanley. But it was just, my parents were ready to take a step back. I was ready to make a change and went into the business, worked side by side with my dad. I still do. When he's in town, my parents both love to come into the store. We have Sunday dinner together as a family, catch up about the week. You know, it's a real family business.
What did you learn on Wall Street that you can now use running the business?
To be honest, I think what I learned growing up in the store helped me even more on Wall Street. Being able to interact with people and you know, even that aren't my age and are older than me, more experienced than me, and having conversations and you know, being able to listen and interact with people. That I learned growing up in the store that I used on Wall Street. You know, but you know, I really think it's the reverse way.
Isn't that interesting? And it was just the pull of the family business that made you leave Wall Street, or wasn't as much fun?
I always knew growing up. I mean, this is my family's legacy in New York. You know, my grandparents, my parents. You know, I always knew that it would. You know, it's a candy store. You're running one of New York City's oldest candy stores. How could you pass that up? It's fun. It's sweet.
Well. What's your busiest time of year?
You know, busiest day of the year is Halloween. Busiest time of year is right now, leading up to Christmas, Valentine's Day. You know, there's always something, which is great. You know, it's always nice. You go from Halloween into Thanksgiving, into Christmas, into Valentine's, Easter Passover, summer tourism, and then you're always right back at Halloween.
How do you keep your ear open for new trends? What will trigger your attention to pay attention to? You
know, we go to the New York City Candy Show every year. You know, people come by or they'll call me up and they'll say, I have a new product. I say, you know what? Send me a box. I'll put it on the shelf. Tell me what I should price it at. If it's gone by the end of the week, I'll take it on.
Wow. How often does that happen?
Every couple weeks.
That someone calls?
Yeah,
and
but you know,
what percent sell?
1 out of 10.
Yeah.
It's tough. You know,
but you gave them a shot.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, we're a small business. We want to support other small businesses. And, you know, we took a shot on a lot of these, a lot of new European chocolate bars, different gift items. And those have taken off for the holidays. People are filling up their baskets. everyone wants something different. You have to. We started doing toys, vintage toys, a whole wall of all, you know, harmonicas and slinkies and slide whistles and all fun stuff, and that's been great for stocking stuffers. You know, I wouldn't have thought of it, but it fits perfectly with the retro environment of our store.